Hello everyone and welcome back to Inside Fnatic's Brush. It's been some time since we've seen each other, obviously with Fnatic not qualifying to MSI nor EWC. We've had quite a few months without seeing our boys in the orange and black. During this off-season, there's actually been a lot of discussions and rumors about who would stay in the team and who would actually leave, with Grabs making it very clear that the top side was in danger. In the end, this all resulted in Humanoid being the only person being replaced for POBY, which was quite a surprise as everyone was expecting somebody probably from the academy teams, but instead POBY from Korean academy team T1 takes the place of the long-standing Czech player. Now with a new player and a new dynamic, it was going to be all eyes on him in the first week of the summer split, with Fnatic facing first Team Heretics, then SK. For the first game, Fnatic goes for the classic duo Orianna Wukong and draft double engage by adding Alistar into the mix. Team Heretics goes more for a pick comp with Yunara and Rail for a backline safety option. And the early game gets a bit messy for Razork, who messes up on his pathing, misses out on the two Scuttle Crabs, and even gets the Drake stolen right under his nose. This in turn impacts the bot lane a little bit as Shio tries to put pressure into Razork's jungle with his advantage. Thankfully, POBY's CS advantage and Oscar's solo bolo kill plus Shio overplaying his hand in the invade brings Fnatic back into the game. Despite all of this, Razork still stays behind and misses on most of the neutral objectives except for Herald, that he will actually somewhat waste in the team fight in the bot lane around Drake, which doesn't give them the advantage that they hope to get a little bit back into the game. With this tempo still in favor of Team Heretics, they actually use it to start Arakan. Fnatic unfortunately will be too far to get there in time, and on top of that, we'll lose 2 members against 1 for Team Heretics. The pressure is being felt on the side of Fnatic as they try to do a Baron play while Team Heretics is focused on the Drake with Shell, but unfortunately Razork is already poked half his HP and the rest of the team fight goes horribly wrong. Everyone is disconnected on Fnatic's side and Team Heretics secure a Baron on top of getting the kills. Despite the 5k gold lead that Team Heretics has constructed, Shell actually starts misusing his Nocturne ult at 2 occasions. First in the top lane, where Fnatic catch a couple of members from Team Heretics and exceptionally some shutdowns that get into Upset's hand. And at the other moment in the mid lane, where Shell somehow focuses on Razork and then completely split up Team Heretics, which allows Razork to re-engage into Flakked. Even with the POBY ult missing, it's very easy for Upset to join in with his ulti and erase Team Heretics. This blunder from Team Heretics will actually act the end of game 1 as they put the victory into Fnatic's hands despite a very good lead following their Baron take. Heading into game 2, this time Team Heretics focuses on a late game comp with the Rise and Aphelios locked in. On the other side, Fnatic draft a bit of a weird composition that lacks reliable engage and that feels more to receive engage. However, they are playing against a late game comp, so they should not be expecting some early game pressure. And in the end, it's Heretics with the better early game tempo. First with a dive on Oscar in the bot lane, which isn't being replied in the top lane on Fnatic's side, but on top of that, when they tried their dive, they completely misexecute and instead give a kill to the Aphelios. Following that move, Team Heretics uses that advantage to get another dive going on their side, and they put the Rise even further ahead. Now with their 2 late game carries completely skyrocketed ahead, it becomes impossible for Fnatic to get back into the game and make anything happen. Despite POBY's best efforts to get catches and doing engage with the flash stun on his Annie, the rest of the game is completely in Team Heretics' hands. Getting the Arakan stolen will really put the final nail in the coffin in that game 2, and Fnatic will just get ran over in 27 minutes. Game 2 goes to Team Heretics, 1 map each. Unfortunately, there were loads of disrespect and missed timings on the side of Fnatic, coupled with misexecution, especially on some of the dives that gave all the keys for Team Heretics late game comp to get online very early into the game. Focusing on game 3, it was time for Fnatic to lock in. First pick Trundle, and a lot of disruption lock-in options for Fnatic. On the other side, Team Heretics respond well with a good re-engage, disengage comp, especially with the Xayah bot lane. And finally, this time is Fnatic making the good first move. First with a dive in the bot lane where Razork gets the first kill, which automatically means he's going to pressure the enemy jungle. He uses this tempo to secure voids and provide another dive for the bot lane against the enemy Aatrox. The game goes through Razork completely as he's the one setting up the tempo and putting a lot of pressure across the map with his Trundle that looks completely unavoidable, but most importantly, taking the form of a final boss in the early to mid game. All of these advantages culminate into a teamfight after taking the first turret into the bot lane. Team Heretics try to make something happen. POBY gets a beautiful scatter the weak on the enemy Aurora, which then leads to a magnificent ulti from MakeX that helps Upset stay alive. POBY repositions, provides more damage, and they completely wipe Team Heretics, furthering their advantage even deeper into the stage of the game. From this point onwards, it's pretty much game over for Team Heretics as Fnatic completely control the map from there on after. Team Heretics can't even get a single turret throughout the game. Fnatic easily secure Baron and just end the game from it. This was definitely the best game of the best of 3 so far. POBY sets another CS difference record against his mid laner, and Oscar this time plays a much better game with a more secure and comfortable Gragas game. With the first point of the split secured against Team Heretics, it was time to face SK Gaming. SK Gaming haven't had the best reputation when it came to scrims during this off-season, so let's see what type of competition they can offer Fnatic in this best of 3. To start with game 1, SK go for some dive options while Fnatic go back to their comfort picks and play a little Yunara Braum duo into the bot lane. With Razork getting the first blood in the early game, this automatically translates into enemy jungle pressure, which then leads into Loopy getting caught, giving a kill to the Yunara and putting her even further ahead. The fight around Drake where POBY will collapse into Team Heretics will even help Yunara be skyrocketed and be unstoppable for the rest of the game. The game is controlled with only Oscar making some mistakes here and there, being the most deaths on the team so far. Fortunately, this doesn't have a lot of impact on the game as the rest of the team keeps pushing further pressure onto the rest of the map. The Arakan secure and a final push into the bot lane will secure a very easy game in 24 minutes. First game in the best of 3 against SK. Jumping straight into game 2, SK decides this time to draft a more solid engage comp, while Fnatic goes for more the poke comp option, notably with the Jace, the Ezreal, and the Maokai. Razork once again decides to dictate the tempo of the match by helping this time the top side and providing a gank to Oscar and getting the first blood. Then Fnatic just get a natural gold lead, notably by pushing their CS difference and scrapping some plates off the turrets. A beautiful collapse from POBY onto the Drake area will help Upset get catapulted even further into the game. Fnatic will then do a good job on focusing the turrets, even leaving the Drake into SK's hand just to crack the first tier turrets across the map. At that moment, SK feels that they need to do something and force the Arakan, thinking they have a tempo on Fnatic's recalls. However, they're not taking the Arakan fast enough. On top of that, Loopy loses his ultimate early by getting caught by MakeX. From there, a beautiful wombo combo is set up first with Razork hitting his ult, then the Bard follows up, stuns 3 people from SK, and POBY just waits on the side, triggers his ult, catches all 3 members. They get the kill from Fnatic with a double kill from Oscar, and from that point, it's lights out for SK. From that moment onward, nothing much actually happens except for Fnatic getting full control on Barons, Drakes, inhibitors, and slowly closing out the game by pushing each lane. The steady pace helps them close the game in 33 minutes and close the best of 3 2-0 in favor of Fnatic. Looking into these first best of 3s of the split, it was clear that it was a bit difficult for Razork and Oscar to get into it. Razork did improve a bit faster, especially in the latter games, but Oscar still had some up and down games, but still had some good plays with Gragas and Jace. However, the spotlight definitely has to be put on POBY, who was completely stellar on both best of 3 games. He deservedly got both MVPs for the best of 3 plays this weekend, and his CS advantage and his positioning really put him a level above the rest of the team. On top of that, for those who took the time to listen to the voice comms, you can see he's extremely vocal. His English is actually pretty good without any strong Korean accent, and also he's always talking about macro. Even when the team is feeling a bit down or is wasting time apologizing for a play, POBY immediately recenters the attention on what needs to be done next. Bringing POBY into the team definitely has shifted the dynamic within the team, with a very vocal mid laner who brings a lot of strategy and new ways of playing the game, and at the same time bringing much more hard-working mindset into the organization, which is a much needed change. Now, so far the mid laners haven't been really challenging so far for POBY, and BDS being the next opponent will bring in Nuke into the mid lane. I'm looking forward for what POBY can do against Nuke. Can he keep that CS lead? Can he keep that oppression into the mid lane? And can he stay as efficient in the team fights as he's been so far? On the other side, I'd like to see Oscar a bit much more tamed in his top lane, not losing to unneeded 1v1s or being smarter on potential dives happening on his lane. Anyways, that's going to be all for me. Let me know what you thought about the team's return into competition, especially with POBY. Are you on board the POBY train, or are you still waiting for a few more games before getting an opinion in? Let me know everything in the comments or on Twitter, and I will see you next time to review the BDS games. Always Fnatic. Take care, guys. Bye-bye.